Tonight, a straight set win over Hisham Arazi, our matchup.
For the first two sets, almost all the two sets. Sampras coming back in that tiebreak. This is actually from the tiebreak in that second set. Sampras coming up with a big forehand, won the second set, and then able to steamroll Patrick Rafter and win those final two sets pretty comfortably. And then Rafter, there's Pete. Well, she wasn't his wife at this time, but now she is his wife. And then, of course, Sampras, his parents were on hand for that emotional day for Pete Sampras. Now, Patrick Rafter, as you said, Cliff, one thing he's really wanted to do is win the Davis Cup, be part of a Davis Cup winning team for Australia, which he hasn't do. He almost did it last year. They lost to Spain in the final. Then Rafter started talking about retirement. We saw him in Australia, and Pete Sampras now coming out. Then Rafter comes down to the Australian Open, plays beautifully. I mean, played great. He actually was out playing Agassi there and started cramping in the fourth set and lost it. So we're all thinking, hey, maybe Rafter's going to stick around. He's playing so well. And he's quite, as you said, and I was surprised too, said, I've had it. I've had enough of the travel. I want to sit home and relax. But in saying that, he's been playing beautifully here. I've just been losing. I'm not sure I totally buy that, because certainly Sampras is getting up for the big events, but he knows that he has to play well in these events, the big Master Series events, to keep himself in good position and to have the confidence, to have that aura of being Pete Sampras going into the majors, even going into Wimbledon. He's only lost one match there in 8 years. So he's played well so far. He's gotten through. He's gotten over that hump of having to win a couple of matches, and this makes for what I think is certainly the best quarterfinal matchup in the men's field.
It's a marquee matchup. If you are the tournament promoter here, these are the two that you want playing in the quarterfinals. It is the Australian Patrick Rafter as he takes on Pete Sampras of the USA. This is for a place in the final four at Indian Wells. Pete Sampras taken on from Australia, Patrick Rafter.
How can you provide for the future of the people who depend on you? With the power of Pacific Life. For over 130 years, Pacific Life has improved the lives of millions with investments, annuities, and insurance. Because careful planning today can help them reach their dreams tomorrow. Discover the power of Pacific Life.
When it's you against a migraine headache, you can't play nice. But now there's Motrin Migraine Pain. It gives you the speed and power you need to show your migraine headache who's boss. Motrin Migraine Pain Caplets. For people who don't fool around with pain.
Flood could be a lot closer than you think. For comprehensive flood insurance, talk to your agent or call 1-888-FLOOD-ALERT.
The Edge of the Sahara, August 15th. There are over 3,000 languages in the world. And I don't think any one of them has a word for this.
Our exclusive coverage of the Tennis Masters Series, Indian Wells, is brought to you by Audi and by Motrin, for people who don't fool around with pain. Live coverage continuing here from Indian Wells, the Tennis Masters Series, Indian Wells. Welcome. Pete Sampras is the number 3 seed here in the tournament, taking on the number 11 seed, Patrick Rafter of Australia. A few things that you can say about Rafter. He's a good-looking kid. He's sort of the men's tour's equivalent of Kornikova, I suppose you could say, on the other side, except that he's been much more successful as a player. This 28-year-old from Queensland, Australia. He also has a game that people love to watch, a serve and volley game that very few players are able to match. In fact, he is the preeminent serve and volley player in tennis today.
Certainly is, and a good start, as we've talked about, to the year. He helped Australia win their opening round in the Davis Cup over Ecuador, and as I said, they'll travel to Brazil for the next round in a few weeks' time. Rafter looking fit. He told us, and one good thing he told us is that his shoulder feels great. He has to do a lot of work on that shoulder that's been operated on to keep it in good shape. He certainly feels good and feels like this court really suits him.
Tennis really needs Patrick Rafter as well, and I for one sure hope that he is not going to retire. Here he is on the subject of his own retirement.
That I will most probably retire. I never said I'd definitely retire. It's something that I want to look at the end of the year. The tour is tough. It's a great tour, but it's a very long and very tough one. And Davis Cup makes it long. There's so many tournaments we have to play now, and I want to be able to walk when I'm 40 years old. I don't want to have a hip replacement. I don't want to have all these things. So, and that's another thing I'm looking forward to. I'm not looking at things right now. A lot of people don't understand that. But I know, hearing what Edberg said when he stopped, he said, I want to be able to walk and do fun things when I'm 40 years old. And that's exactly what I want to do.
You know, Patrick, I want to caution you, don't underestimate what he says, Patrick Rafter. He's a very genuine man, and when he says things like this, he's not just shooting from the hip. I think he means it.
Well, you wish, actually, it's an excellent point that Rafter makes about the season. And we've talked about this so many times, and I really believe, Cliff, that the length of the tennis season is the main reason that many of the great players, particularly those in the last 10 years when there's gotten to be much more depth, much more competition week in and week out, but many of the players like Edberg, like Becker, like Michael Stich have retired, like Peter Korda, have retired at a relatively young age. I mean, you look at Sampras, look at Agassi, they're 30, they're still able to play well physically. It's just the grind of week in and week out having to do it that pushes a lot of these guys out of the game, and I really wish that we could do more in the tennis world to keep guys like this around into their mid-30s, like Pete Sampras, who's going to turn 30 pretty soon. And you see his record this year, not good. That's why he's number 50 in the Champions race. We're starting to play well finally this week.
I want to make this point, Patrick, while you're talking about retirement and what makes guys retire. Yeah, the season is long. The other thing is that it is played now, generally speaking, on these hard courts, and they are not friendly to the body. I don't want to take you back to my era, because probably you wouldn't even remember that far back.
No, that's true.
But we used to play of the majors were on grass, and the rest of them were all on clay. And no matter what you say, that is so much easier on the body than these hard courts that the players have to play now. So I think that's an additional factor.
These guys have played many times, most of them, as you see there, Cliff, on hard. Out of their 14 meetings, 11 on hard courts. Of course, the one we just showed you at Wimbledon was the last time they did play each other. Sampras winning that in 4 sets.
And that was the best Wimbledon for Patrick Rafter by a long way. In fact, I don't think he certainly hadn't got past the quarterfinals until last year, and I'm not sure he hadn't got past the round of 16.
He got to the semis. That's when he lose to Agassi, I think
2 years ago.
2 years ago. And then, of course, he had the great win over Agassi last year.
That's right. I stand corrected.
It was a classic, that 5-setter over Agassi.
Sure was.
But he never done well at all up until that semifinal. You're right, Cliff.
That's what I was trying to say.
That gave him a lot of confidence, because certainly with the game that Rafter has, should be well suited to the grass. Wouldn't it be great if in tennis there was a 3-month break, a hiatus from the tour, not just for the players and for us in the broadcast world, but for the fans, to actually have something to look forward to. You know, every other sport is seasonal. You get excited. There's spring training now in baseball. You're looking at your team. Who did they add? What did certain players work on? What did they improve?
Just looking quickly at the stats so that I can be more definitive, and that he got to the 4th round at Wimbledon a few times, but never before 99. Yes, the answer to your question, Patrick, is yes. I agree with you. There should be a shorter season for the players, and the only thing I fear is that those who can make a lot of money will use some of those months to go play exhibition matches for big money and not do what they should do, which is take time off. Stop! Pete Sampras holds on 1 game to love. They played against each other in Cincinnati in '99. Pete Sampras and Patrick Rafter. Rafter that played a beautiful match that day, Patrick.
Oh, these guys have played some real memorable matches in Cincinnati. They had that big controversy on the match point. I think it was the previous year for Rafter. Sampras hit a serve that he thought was out, wasn't called. Rafter went on to win it. This one was another marquee matchup with two of the big hitters playing on the favorite surface, or almost, I guess, second favorite for Sampras. Sampras able to win that one and take home one of his, what does he have, 11 Tennis Masters Series titles, Pete Sampras. One of them there.
Rafter was the runner-up in Cincinnati in '99, and he won it in '98.
Right, he beat Sampras the year before, '98. The other thing about Rafter, which he points out, is that he wants to be able to walk when he's 40 and be able to do things because physically he works so hard. He has to work that hard to play the type of tennis that he wants to play, to be at the top. It's a very physically demanding type of game. He plays serving and volleying, very athletic. He relies on his movement. Can't just pound serves and big forehands from the ground and win a lot of matches as Pete Sampras has been able to do throughout his career.
Yeah, his serve is more to set up the first volley than it is to hit a clean winning shot.
There's her favorite shot, Cliff, that Rafter sort of cupping stretch forehand volley. She does with regularity.
Rafter holds on. It's 1 game all. Patrick Rafter's won 2 U.S. Opens. Pete Sampras has won 4 U.S. Opens, but the last one that he won is in '96. The last slam that he won, aside from Wimbledon, where he's won the last 3. In fact, he's only lost 1 Wimbledon in 8 years. But the last slam that he won outside of Wimbledon was the '97 Australian Open.
Measured by Sampras there. Good depth on that first volley, closing in well. This is where Rafter doesn't have quite the firepower that Sampras has off the pass. Pete able to close in. Interesting, Sampras right off the bat coming in on quite a bit of his second serves.
Remember Borg used to do the same thing if he was challenged by somebody who was coming in, chip and charging him. His answer always was to serve and volley a little more on a surface that allowed him to do so, and Clay didn't bother about that.
No, didn't have to worry too much. Sampras stays back. Wants to keep Rafter guessing. He wants to mix it up, come in a little bit. He knows Pat likes to chip his return quite a bit, so he'll want to come in and take advantage of that. That's a beautiful chip there. Sampras took a lot off that first serve, only 100 miles per hour. It's great control with that chip return, Rafter.
Yeah, actually he's got a good chip backhand period in the middle of the point as well. You're watching live coverage, everyone, of the Tennis Masters Series. Cliff Drysdale here alongside Patrick McEnroe, men's quarterfinals today. Patrick Rafter taking on Pete Sampras, marquee matchup for a place in the last 4 early stages. One piece in games. And now game to Sampras. It is 2 games to 1. Sampras leading. We are live at Indian Wells, and we'll be back with this quarterfinal men's singles in a minute.
The Edge of the Sahara, August 15th. There are over 3,000 languages in the world. And I don't think any one of them has a word for this.
Disney Pictures presents.
You got anger, that's good. And I don't need you up on my face. You got aggression, that's even better. We will be perfect in every aspect of the game.
On the film critics call a rousing celebration of the human spirit. And only on DVD, 6 scenes not shown in theaters. Academy Award winner Denzel Washington.
We are team.
Remember the Titans, a Jerry Bruckheimer production. Available to own on video and Disney DVD Tuesday, March 20th.
You've worked hard, and as you plan for the future of the people who depend on you, you search for the right financial partner. In Pacific Life, you found it. Nearly half the Fortune 500 rely on the Pacific Life family of companies. With over 130 years of experience and more than $300 billion of managed assets. For your family or for business, discover the power of Pacific Life.
Patrick Rafter is able to improvise on the volleys better than anybody in the business. Take a look and see some of what makes it so good. You can see him coming in here. Now watch him just a second in here. There is his split step as he now decides to make his move to the right when he sees the ball going there. Freeze it right there, guys. Now normally your volley is going to be high to low. That'll be a slice. But watch Patrick. This is improvisation. He's going to hit it low to high as he scoops this forehand volley through and still hits it for a winner. Now that is a shot that I know Patrick McEnroe is going to beat me over the head with and say, get with a modern game, baby. But the truth is that that is really an improvisation type shot from Rafter. Great volume. That one that you just saw, that's the tradition.
I'm not going to beat you over the head about that one, because I'm talking about the swinging one. So Rafter is one of the only guys that really can pull that off with consistency. See there? Rafter trying to take away the angle from Sampras going up the volley, or up the middle, but not deep enough.
He didn't jump. It was in easily.
Sampras has obviously come out ready today for this one, able to raise his level now. Beautifully struck topspin lob. What an array of shots from Pete Sampras. He's in full flight. It's a joy to watch.
It sure is, and he comes out in the first round against Prinosil, Patrick, and beats him in straight sets, then 3 sets against Santoro, then he takes out Grosjean, another Frenchman, but you know, it's just different when you're out there against a guy like Patrick Rafter.
Well, he knows he has to play better and raise his level, and he's been able to do it. That's why he's the man over the last 10 years. Still the serve, though, that gives Sampras all sorts of problems. That heavy kick up on the backhand side. Sampras knows it's coming, especially on the second serve. There's another one out wide.
Game to Rafter, 2 apiece. I was talking to Jack Kramer the other day, Patrick, and we were talking about the difference between one-handed, two-handed. He's not a fan of the two-handed players at all. And I was saying to him, you know, on the contrary to what you're telling me, Jack, my own feeling is that if Sampras had sort of kept his two-handed backhand from all those years, which he changed from when he was about 13, 14 years old, to a one-hander. If he'd kept it, he might even have been a greater player today. Provided he had learned to hit the one-handed volley like he hits it now. Age-old discussion. No solution.
It's friendly banter. 15 that he probably wouldn't have been able to develop if he had stuck with a two-hander. That a slice approach, have the strength to be a solid volleyer.
I agree with that, and that's why there's really no final answer to that discussion.
Yes, there is. There is a final answer. You're wrong. He would not have been a better player if he had a
There's
two-hand
no way that you can know that. If he played two hands all his life, he might have won 14, 15 by now.
He might have won a French or two, but he probably wouldn't have won 7 Wimbledon.
30 love Sampras. Very authoritative pass, but game points still for Sampras.
Solid pickup from the half volley from Sampras. Got it deep. Rafter there and plenty of time. Look how he keeps his balance. He's moving backwards here to set himself up. Let the ball drop a little bit. Not rushing the stroke.
That sails and Sampras holds on. No breaks yet. 3-2. Sampras leading Patrick Rafter. You need a baton twirler for your local band. How about Patrick Rafter? Look at that. Easy. 3-2.
Stars has more new hit movies in prime time. Movies you'll see first on Stars and only on Stars.
Just one of 12 commercial-free movie channels, only $10 more per month with your total choice package.
Oh, look at
We've had this new set for a little while, and it's got a lot of new bells and whistles, and it's certainly generated a lot of feedback, most of it positive, but there are some people who say they're too intimidated by the space-agey feel of the new set, and I'm like, come on, we're still the same people doing the same show. New set's not going to change anything, at least not with me.
Great, thanks.
Anytime. Oh, yeah, computer.
Yes, Mr. Eisen?
Can you get me the statistics to tonight's Rangers game right away?
Coming right up, Mr. Eisen.
Welcome, everyone. Pete Sampras leading Rafter of Australia 3-2. Following our show on ESPN at 5 o'clock Eastern Time, Sports Center NCAA basketball special. Chris Fallon and the gang for the latest on the NCAA tournament action. Number 15 seed Hampton pulling off a stunning buzzer beater against number 2 seed Iowa State yesterday. Catch all the highlights from afternoon tournament action today on ESPN. For more info, log on to ESPN.com. 3-2, Sampras leads Rafter serving.
Oh. Talk about improvisation.
Exactly.
From Rafter on the volley.
So how about the backhand from Sampras? That one.
No, that's what I mean. I mean, we saw it earlier from Rafter. Now we see here from Pete. Great hands. We you just let me finish my sentence? Jumping right in, trying to correct me.
I knew it was going to be a tough year when you lost to the Swiss.
Become very ornery.
15 all.
Sampras looking for a call.
15-15.
It's Pete Sampras livid. I mean, he's going crazy now. See if we can see it here from up above. It looked to be wide, didn't it?
Looked wide to me. That will go long. 40-15.
Again, that was a solid return. Kept low and good slice from Sampras. But Rafter with his quickness, his serve, he throws that ball way out in front of him, allows him to get to net very quickly. He was able to make that a fairly routine volley. Ah, that stick. These guys have come out of the gates very, very sharp in this match. Again, Rafter getting out of the way of it, keeping it in front of him. Those volleys that come right at you as you're coming in are often difficult, because you have to move quickly to get out of the way of the ball. And Rafter does that so well. Rafter has the edge on Sampras. His agility around the net. See Sampras not quite as quick here. He gets to this one, but he's at full stretch. He's off balance. And then this one can't catch up to it. That's the perfect example, Cliff, of where Rafter could have used that swinging forehand volley. That's what he would have gone for in that volley. Probably would have made it.
Last 30.
Chance for Patrick Rafter now. Love 30 at 3 all.
15-20.
Just reaches back. It's a big heater there right into the body, to the left hip of Rafter. 127 miles per hour on that one.
That's a good return. I mean, he couldn't have hit a much wider serve. And Rafter still with that slice able to get it below the level of the net. And Sampras trying for too much on the volley.
Yeah, he didn't get down low enough, Sampras, for that one. Should have made that volley.
First break point of the match.
Pete on the high volley. Doesn't have to get as low for that one. Uses his body weight going forward. Still break point.
That's a very well played game by Patrick Rafter, returning serve brilliantly into the feet of Pete Sampras as he comes in. Watch this one here. He is coming in and having to pick it off his feet, and Sampras loses the game.
When you or someone you love is hospitalized, safety matters most. That's why doctors and hospitals choose Tylenol more than any other pain reliever. Doctors know Tylenol is least likely to have drug interactions, and it won't cause stomach irritation the way aspirin and even ibuprofen sometimes can. It's the pain reliever hospitals use most. Tylenol. Take comfort in our strength.
You've worked hard, and as you plan for the future of the people who depend on you, you search for the right financial partner. In Pacific Life, you found it. Nearly half the Fortune 500 rely on the Pacific Life family of companies. With over 130 years of experience and more than $300 billion of managed assets. For your family or for business, discover the power of Pacific Life.
Rafter's got the break. Sampras broken. The most famous shot in the law of the last decade in tennis is the serve of Pete Sampras. Let it roll, guys, and let's show you what makes it such a great shot. Watch this wind up here. He lets the racket go down. Got plenty of room. There's a slight delay there, as you can see, as the ball is up in the air. Now watch this from this position here. Full knee bend, but look at the shoulder turn. Full shoulder turn, and then he moves into it. Let him spring into it now. So it's a full shoulder rotation and then a loose wrist, and he's off the ground when he makes contact with the ball. That is the Pete Sampras serve in slow motion. Here's a look at Rafter serving. 15-love Rafter. Sampras 4-3. He trails in the first set. 4-3 Rafter serving.
And that's the key, I think, Cliff, that shoulder turn to the
15
because it's very difficult to be able to do that. And even some of the good servers, even Rafter doesn't get that much shoulder turn. Sampras is just so loose, very flexible. Works on his flexibility in his upper body quite a bit. See those shoulders. Sampras can come right back, puts together a solid return off the backhand side.
15-30.
Rafter gets it over to the backhand of Sampras, makes him pass on his weaker side. That time Pete able to pull it off. 15-30.
You sort of made me a believer, Patrick, when you talked about Rafter's game, and you've seen him hit a few balls here in this tournament, and turns out you're right. He is playing terrific tennis on this court that suits him perfectly.
Smart change up there. That time Rafter at 30 all. Sampras starting to look for the backhand. Rafter hooks it out wide. He completely missed it. He was leaning towards the backhand side.
Oh, that's nicely played. That's two clean winners off the backhand down the line from Sampras. Deuce.
This is the kind of tennis we've been waiting for. Look at this point. Great return down low. Beautiful pickup. Rafter stays low. Sampras just flattens it out up the line.
Advantage Rafter. Okay.
That one sails, and Rafter holds on 5-3 now to the two-time U.S. Open champ.
Rafter leads 5 games to 3.
Reminder tonight, Andre Agassi takes on Nicolas Lapentti. The winner will take on Leighton Hewitt, the number 6 seed from Australia, who earlier beat Nicolas Escudé. Patrick Rafter playing now against Pete Sampras, and the winner of that one will take on Kafelnikov, who beat Jan-Michael Gamble.
So Lara Feltham, Patrick Rafter's girlfriend.
Patrick, Patrick is one of 9 children in his family.
Sampras put together some excellent returns and passing shots in that last game, Clint, but it wasn't enough. That's what makes this match so interesting. Players have to come up with better than very good, you know, to make a break.
Check the winners and unforced errors. Colin Patrick and prepare to the last match.
A little different than the first match.
7 winners for Sampras, 2 unforced errors, 6 winners for Rafter, 2 unforced errors. Very clean stuff. Very good. Tall, and he's got a good reach, Sampras, and he's got a game point.
There's a good stretch there from Sampras. Gotta be really ready up there. The level that these two guys are playing right now. Slider out wide.
So Sampras holds on, but Patrick Rafter hasn't lost his serve today yet. We'll serve for the first set when we come back live to Indian Wells.
The Action Sports and Music Awards, fueled by Mountain Dew, coming April 10th on ESPN.
I specialize in pain.
Again?
An office job can be torture. All that clicking, typing, and reaching can lead to serious injuries.
Again?
I'm Dr. Michelle Robertson, ergonomic research expert for Liberty Mutual Insurance. By studying the problems, we help design ergonomic work environments to keep your employees working comfortably.
At Liberty Mutual, we help make your business safer and more secure. It's insurance in action.
Isn't science fun?
These two played against each other in 1998 in the semi-final of the U.S. Open. Flushing Meadow, watch this one.
So Rafter, the best Sampras in the 5-setter. Sampras coming up with an injury as the match went on. Great court coverage from Rafter. And back then, see, there's that kicking serve. Oh, that was some good stuff there.
Great volleying. Oh! Hard-fought match won by Patrick Rafter, who has now won the U.S. Open as he goes on to win it that year. He has won it twice. Here's Rafter, to Sampras for the first set. Ace, 15 love, 5-4 Rafter. Again, the winner of this takes on Yevgeny Kafelnikov in the semis here in this first Tennis Masters Series event of the year. NCAA basketball special up next after our tennis coverage today here from Indian Wells.
Triple set point.
(40-15).
40-15.
Oh, that's a great return. A couple of good returns from Sampras now. Still first set point for Rafter. The thing about Rafter is that if you pass him a couple of times like this, Patrick, it doesn't bother him. He just keeps boring in.
Yep, there's no
hesitation.
second guessing.
Yeah.
There's no second guessing in his tactics.
Drops in. Oh, he could have hit that one.
He looks up, says thank you very much. And 40 love looked like it was going to be a routine service game to close out the first set. Sampras back in it. Two big returns and a little bit of luck. Rafter will keep going after it.
Yep. Fourth set point.
Wow, surprised he tried that, Cliff, at set point. Add in, maybe a 40 love. Drop volley. Really, Rafter play a nice, safe, solid volley deep, makes Sampras pass on the back end.
Deuce.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, it's become famous, hasn't it? Sorry, mate, when he throws the ball up and then decides to catch it because he doesn't like to toss.
Pat Cash says that should be a fault.
It's nonsense. Complete nonsense.
No footwork there from Sampras.
Advantage Rafter.
Set point again. Patrick Rafter has won the first set against Pete Sampras in the quarterfinal of the men's singles. He's looking for a place in the semifinal to play Evgeny Kafelnikov. Back live in a minute.
New balls, please.
For longer than I think he thought he would have to get back. We asked him about it earlier this week after one of his matches, and he said it is fine. Total repair job done. 30-15.
Wow. Look at that, Cliff. The match comparison, winners to errors. Amazing level, this match. Here it is again, 12 winners for Sampras, only 2 errors. Rafter, equally as impressive with 9 winners and 3 unforced errors. Hello. Hello.
Pete Sampras leads by 1 game to love in the second. He lost the first to Patrick Rafter. Our exclusive coverage of the Tennis Masters Series Indian Wells is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at mbusa.com, and by Claritin. On a beautiful day like today, it's a perfect time to talk to your doctor about Claritin. 1 to Sampras, but Rafter has the big one, the first set, and Rafter to serve. Rafter has not been broken yet.
He's not faced a break point so far in the match.
Patrick, that Wimbledon final, Rafter won the first set. He had chances in the second set tiebreak, didn't he?
He was way, I think he was up, it was 4-1 he was up in that tiebreak with 2 serves to come, I believe.
Sampras came back, won the tiebreak, and then won the next 2 sets, 6-4, 6-2. Chris, Digger, and Dickey waiting. And the Sports Center special, NCAA basketball special. Up next. Chance for Sampras, love 30. Tonight, Agassi, 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Oh, beautifully done there. Sampras thinking about it. He knows he didn't stick that volley with enough conviction, and Rafter with his athleticism. Look at him able to run this down. The ball was behind him, able to cup it. Bring it back. Look how quickly this guy moves. And he's ready to go again, if need be.
Big point that was for Rafter. 15-30 instead of love 40. And then he comes back with an ace. That's Rafter's second ace of the match. 30 all.
Sampras talking to himself about the return. As you can see, he's practicing one slice return, then he's practicing one where he comes over it. He's not quite sure.
Sure about the forehand, though. Blocked that one cleanly. Putting pressure on Rafter in the last 2 service games now, Sampras. Great serve. Right up the tee, 119 miles per hour. A lot of action, a lot of spin on that ball, a lot of bite. Game point.
Game Rafter. In trouble, but he held on. Terrific point at love 30, which kept him in it. Tonight, Andre Agassi, Nicolas Lapentti, live coverage 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. And obviously, we will have some highlights of the Sampras Rafter match. This one that you're watching now, for those of, if you're not able to see, well, we're not going to show you the rest of it, but we will give you highlights tonight. Agassi, Lapentti. Oh, nice angle. 15.
Again, Rafter's quickness enables him to get behind the ball and set himself up so he has some room to hit. Oh, you know Agassi's confident when he hits that volley there.
That is not good news for Lapentti. Agassi in control of this match. 2 breaks now, 4-1. He'll serve and we come back to Indian Wells.
Still don't know what I was waiting for, and my time was running
Today,
wild.
companies are struggling with the complexities of the net, trying to make intranets, extranets, the internet, and multiple software platforms work together, simply and securely, as one net. Well, now they can. With Net Services software from Novell. The power to change.
50 cars.
50 cars by 8 a.m.
Where the hell is my brother?
24 hours.
Hello, ladies.
60 seconds. 60 seconds. One chance to save his brother's life. Nicolas Cage.
Okay, let's ride.
Man, this guy can drive. Nicolas Cage, gone in 60 seconds.
This month on direct-ticket pay-per-view on DirecTV. This Sunday on ESPN Classic, find out why sometimes the toughest fight is outside the ring.
I ain't nothing to you but a black, ugly fist.
The Great White Hope.
I got my turn to be the champion of the world.
Academy Award nominee James Earl Jones stars in the true story of a boxer who's in the battle of his life. It's a real classic, The Great White Hope. This Sunday night at 9 Eastern, 10 Pacific, only on ESPN Classic. To get real, call 1-800-CLASSIC today.
Agassi leads 4 games to 1, 2 breaks. Kim Clijsters and Serena Williams in the women's singles final on ESPN at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night on ESPN. Please join us for that, folks. Kim Clijsters, very nice to watch. Serena Williams, that name speaks for itself. She's one of the superstars of tennis. First point, game number 6. Lovely change. Got to go with Serena there, don't you?
Oh, definitely.
But, I mean, Clijsters played a very good match against the world's number 1.
She was able to control the play a little more against Hingis, who doesn't have nearly the firepower that Serena has.
Miss hit from Lapentti, 15 all. Agassi 4-1, 2 breaks.
15 all.
Best moments of Lapentti's career when He reached the ATP World Championship, as it was called then, now called the Tennis Masters Cup. He won titles in Indianapolis and Lyon that year. Finished number 8.
13-15.
And he received the Medal of Congress from the President of Ecuador, so he's an honorary ambassador of the country. Running forehand down the line, not even close. Game points Agassi for 5-1.
Another good serve there from Agassi, kicking it out wide. He loves that play in both courts to open up the court because he can take the ball so early. This gets you on the run quickly. He hasn't had to do much running tonight. This has been a cakewalk.
Agassi holds on, and he has a commanding lead, 5-1, 2 breaks. Lapentti is just struggling to hold on.
Agassi leads 5-1.
See, there's Lapentti trying to step up, Cliff, into the court a bit and flatten the backhand now. Just doesn't have it.
Patrick, I think, you know, it's dangerous to change your game for your opponent.
Exactly, and that's what he's been doing from the start.
Yeah, and it's not working. Yeah, you know, I mean,
it's like a drill there. Cross court, down the line.
I mean, there's a lot to be said for that cliche about dancing with who you brung. Isn't that what it is? Something like that.
I think that's what it is, yeah. It's one of your favorites. Yeah, go down with your game.
Yeah, that's my point. Love 30.
Left for service.
Agassi not able to get out of the way of that serve. Whose return would you rather have, Cliff? Agassi or Connors? Oh, you're really thinking about this for a while, huh? I stumped you.
No, I'll have to go with Agassi finally, but I was a big fan of Connors' return. I faced it a few times and hated it.
That must not have been pretty.
No, it wasn't.
I faced it a few times too, and it wasn't pretty. And I think he was 39 at the time.
Now, we were talking earlier today about Leighton Hewitt's return of serve and how the statistics show that he's probably got the most consistent return. I'd still take Agassi's over anybody.
Yeah, Agassi's a more intimidating return. Hewitt serves similar to Connors. I think he gets his racket on the ball almost all the time. He hits the ball cleanly the way Connors did, even at full stretch.
Good comeback in this game from Lapentti. He's got a game point.
There's a fear that you face when you play Agassi. And you have to hit a second serve. And that fear can force you to do what Lapentti just did. Miss a lot of first serves, go for more than you're comfortable going for.
The fear factor, I agree.
Throwing some doubles. He's already had 4 doubles in this set, Lapentti. Great forehand there from Agassi. He's got such good balance when he's on the move. Andre gets the racket back quickly. Watch the way he prepares for this ball. He's already got the racket back ready. As his balance is so good and his timing, he's able to hit that on the dead run cleanly. Back to deuce. I don't think that's something you can necessarily teach either, Cliff, having good balance on the run. I mean, you can work on it, but it's sort of a natural ability. Especially in today's game, which is so much quicker and a lot more pace on the ball. I think that's really what separates the very good players from the great players, the players that can hit the ball on the move.
Yeah, nature was kind to Agassi, that's for sure, but there were times in his career when he was an easy win, you know, an easy good win. Went down to, ended up the year a few years ago at 122. Those days are gone, and the fear factor is very much alive when they play against Agassi now. He leads 5-2, 2 breaks. He'll serve when we come back to our live coverage of the Tennis Masters Series, Indian Wells.
ESPN and ESPN2, home of the Women's NCAA Championship.
I'm not quite sure how to tell you this. What is it? You've only got 40 years left to live. Maybe 45, 50 times.
Two eager CEOs. One encouraged his employees to read the Wall Street Journal. The other did not. Let's join them for their 5-year anniversaries and see what happened. Imagine what the Journal could do for you. It's now easier to get the Journal to help you. Get 8 weeks of the Wall Street Journal for just 37 cents a day. That's 50% off the regular rate. Call 800-313-1600. That's 800-313-1600 for the Wall Street Journal.
Andre Agassi is about to serve for the first set, and what do I say about his serve? The best thing about it is how compact it is. Let's roll it, guys. You will see he's rotate his shoulders, his top of his body into the ball. He sways. The racket goes down way in a circle here. Now freeze it right there. You can see that his knees are bent, his eyes on the ball. Now watch this ball now. It'll go up a little higher, but not much higher than where he makes contact with it. Look, it hardly goes down at all. Very compact. He's off the air when he hits the ball. Very good balance as he goes into the court. Watch those steps. Now he steps back because he's going to play from the ground. But it is compact and it is clean. Not much can go wrong with a serve compact as that.
That's a good point about the legs there, Cliff, and that's why it's so important for Agassi to be in excellent shape, because he gets that push off from those strong legs, and his serve is really dependent upon pushing up, not necessarily pushing out into the court, a la, say, a Pete Sampras or a Rafter that are coming in. He wants to get up, and that's what gives him that action on the ball, that good spin, that good kick on the ball. More important for him is that kick and that explosion coming off the court rather than the actual pace on the serve.
Remember how he used to use that kick? He would serve, he'd stand out wide and then kick it way to the backhand side. Doesn't do that much anymore. 15 all.
Backhand floating long. With the Agassi legs right here. There it is again, the racket going back, the legs going up. See how they're going up and he's not really landing that far into the court.
illustrates the point perfectly, and it gets Agassi to set point. It sails, and Agassi has won the first set easily behind 2 breaks. 6 games to 2, second set live, and we come back to Indian Wells.
Some days, business is pretty slow. And other times, we can barely keep up. So our cash flow is pretty erratic. That's a problem. But when we turned to the people at American Express Small Business Services, they had a solution. Corporate Optima. It's a credit card for business with a low 2.9% introductory rate on purchases and no annual fee. It gives us the buying power we need every day. So if the fax won't fax, we can replace it without missing an order. And with a generous credit line, we finally got a real display case at the same low rate. When we need to pay our temp help, I can also access my credit line with the check option. And it all shows up here on my management reports. I love what I do. And with help from American Express, I'll keep on doing it.
To apply for the Corporate Optima card with a 2.9% introductory rate and no annual fee, call 1-800-SUCCESS.
I can still feel his hooks in my ribs and taste the leather from his uppercuts. So why should I get out of the corner? Because I'd gladly take another 3 minutes of pain for a shot at a title. Wouldn't you?
Friday Night Fights on ESPN2.
Take this guy out, he's ready to go.
Andre Agassi made it look easy in the first set. 6 games to 2, 2 breaks. Second set about to start. Be sure to stay with ESPN following our show. We'll bring you Sports Center, Linda Cohn and John Anderson. Update you on today's action. Wild times in Memphis, mid-major madness, and Diggers insights. Sports Center after tennis. That is Lapentti's 3rd ace.
Serving a good percentage though, Cliff, at 46%.
And that's just the start of the bad news, Puppy, because when he misses the first serve, his second serve percentage points are under 40%, so he's in trouble.
He's not feeling too much pressure now, Agassi. He really flattened out those last 2 forehands.
I think you're right about that. I think that's bad news for Lapentti.
Brutal. Oh, that is the punisher right there. And it's an excellent play from Lapentti in that point, but Agassi able to whip the forehand. This was a shot before that one that set it up on a half volley, a full swing at it. It's incredible the way he can take full cuts at the ball off of big shots from his opponents.
Agassi's beaten him 3 straight times, and you have the feeling, don't you, that Agassi doesn't think that he's in any trouble tonight at all. I'm going to have the statisticians check for me tomorrow, Patrick. The last player who on second serves wins more points against Agassi on the return than he loses. Because every time I look at Agassi's stats, you miss a first serve and then you're looking down the barrel of some serious trouble. Here's a second serve from Lapentti at 30 all.
Lapentti's at 36%, Cliff, on his second serve points won.
No, he was trying to steer that one. I gotta believe he was trying to steer it around the net.
Well, even things going that well for Agassi with the total miss it. Actually didn't move his feet for one of the few times and caught the frame. Yeah, he was. You're right.
He was, wasn't he?
He let it drop real low and go around the net post. Break point.
That one sails and Agassi has got the break in the second set. First game of the second set. Agassi won the first easily. 2 breaks, 6-2. Here's a look at what happened earlier today. Yevgeny Kafelnikov and Jan-Michael Gamble, USA.
Well, Gamble's had a great run as of late, Cliff. He won a tournament down in Florida last week, his second career singles title. Beat Kirtan yesterday, but Kafelnikov's a little too solid all around for Gamble. Too much versatility from Kafelnikov. Gamble may be running out a little bit of steam after playing so many matches as well. Kafelnikov, he's been playing well this year so far, Yevgeny. Looked very fit at the start of the year, continuing to look that way. And as I said, too much court coverage from Yevgeny, too much really all-around game. A good cross-court forehand there after a good scrambler from Kafelnikov, so he moves on. He's had some solid wins so far at Kafelnikov. He beat Ivan Isevic, he beat Rios and Francisco Clavet, who won last week in Scottsdale. Maybe, excuse me, Cliff, maybe, just maybe, Kafelnikov might think he has a chance against Pete Sampras in the semis tomorrow. There's Brad Gilbert, former top tenor.
And Agassi's coach, author of Winning Ugly.
15 all.
15 all. Kafelnikov's won 21 matches this year, more than anybody on the ATP Tour.
That's never a surprise, because he plays every week.
Exactly. (30-15, 6-2, 1 game to love Agassi. He has not been tested yet.
There's Pato Rodriguez just to the right there. Great guy. Used to coach Andres Gomez. Gomez won the French when he beat Agassi in the final. Way back in '90, wasn't it, Cliff?
It was. Pato Rodriguez spends a lot of time on Key Biscayne. Beautiful Key Biscayne in Miami. We'll be there starting Sunday a week.
Sunday week, that's it. There's that wide serve again from Agassi.
In fact, Lapentti has spent a couple of years living in Miami now. Crossroads of the continents of South and North America. Game point Agassi.
Kafelnikov, Cliff, won a couple of big Davis Cup matches for the Russians, because Safin lost both of his matches against the Slovak Republic. Kafelnikov came from 2 sets down in the final match against Kucher.
work with the Davis Cup captain. You know, he's got all these little long tails. He follows it now. Checking on his potential.
I followed it before.
But not as closely as now, Captain.
Not quite as closely.
Game point Agassi.
Game Agassi.
This has not been the most spellbinding match so far.
No, Lapentti has just not found any answer, and you said that, you know, he was trying a game plan against Agassi. It didn't seem to work. Now he's all at sea. And Agassi, there are two sides to the story. One is how Lapentti is playing, and the other one is how Agassi is playing. The winners for Agassi, 6. He has 9 unforced errors against 6 winners and 15 for Lapentti.
Lapentti.
Beautiful return from Agassi. He's hitting the ball as cleanly as he's hit it so far this week. I mean, obviously he's having his easiest match so far. Seems to be seeing the ball, though. This is usually what happens to the great players as they get towards the end of the week and they start playing their best tennis. They've got a couple matches under their belt. We certainly see Sampras improve with each of his matches.
If Agassi wins this, he will take on Leighton Hewitt in the semi-final. Kafelnikov and Sampras in the other.
A plenty good start last year. So as you mentioned earlier, Cliff, semi-finalist here, and then did well down in Miami. Just out of his comfort zone and going for another winner.
It's disappointing this. It's so one-sided that it's hard to get your teeth into this match. Lapentti now down 3 break points. He's down 2 games to love. He won 2 games in the first, but he was broken twice. He has not had a break point against Agassi's serve. Not a pretty picture.
Still 2 break points.
That is a great shot from Lapentti as Agassi's coming into the net. He hits a slice back and he gets low. Agassi's forced to volley up, and then he comes up with a very, very good topspin lob clean winner. Watch it.
Agassi's so close to the net. Lapentti's favorite shot. He gets some time on the forehand. All that work, Cliff, and guess what? Still down break point.
Yes, sir. A third. Three in a row for Lapentti. Even in this game at deuce, down 2 games to love. Another break point for Agassi. Lapentti's dad played basketball, went to university in the US, St. Thomas College. He played basketball there, selected as one of the best basketball players in Ecuador of all time. His dad retired from basketball, but internal Olympic games were being held at the Guayaquil Tennis Club, and they called him to play on that team. He became a member of the club, and that's why his son started to play tennis. And his brother won the Orange Bowl last year. That was 2 years ago.
Can't believe that someone's father, someone in their family from South America is playing basketball, not soccer.
Agassi gets another break. Lapentti has won 2 games so far tonight. 6-2 Agassi. First set now 3-love, 2 breaks. He'll serve when we come back.
Coming in April, the ESPN Action Sports and Music Awards, fueled by Mountain Dew. Join hosts Rebecca Romaine Stamos, LL Cool J, and Chris Klein. Plus, the first ever live TV performance by the original members of Black Sabbath. One stage, one night. The athletes of action sports and the music that fuels them. Special appearances by Tony Hawk, Gabrielle Reese, and Tom Green. Music performances by Black Sabbath, Ben Harper, De La Soul, Busta Rhymes. The ESPN Action Sports and Music Awards, fueled by Mountain Dew. April 10th on ESPN.
Witness the controls.
Do 180.
Get out.
We gotta get one of those.
I told you not to let him drive.
Tennis Masters Series, Indian Wells. This is the first Tennis Masters Series of the year. Nicolas Lapentti, Andre Agassi in the quarterfinal, final quarterfinal match of the day. 3 semifinals already in place. Evgeny Kafelnikov and Pete Sampras. Leighton Hewitt waiting for the winner of this one. Agassi leads a set and 3-love, 2 breaks.
What number is Agassi going to finish at the end of the year, Cliff, in the rankings?
In the top 3, is that good enough?
No.
Give me a second. 3. He's not going to play enough.
3.
Yeah. Skeptical?
I think 1.
15.
Going with 1.
Probably only going to play 12 tournaments, and you're going to have Kafelnikov's going to play 30.
No. If you still do well, if you do great in the big events, you'll still finish at the top. There's 1-2 with the swinging serve out wide.
If you win the points race, you really only do play, say, 12 or 15 tournaments as you watch his replay.
I think he'll
he'll
play more than 12 tournaments.
Yeah, probably. That's why I say probably 15 maybe. On the line. Took that one well. Agassi probably coming in behind something that he would not normally come in behind.
That's for sure. He would not normally be coming in on a shot like that, but it's 6-2, 3-love, 2 breaks, 30-15. Why not? Penty hit a couple of shots. Come back with a big serve.
Are you suggesting that Agassi's throwing him a bone?
No. No.
Game point Agassi.
Suggesting that he is not concerned at all about the outcome of the match at this point. Just to further emphasize that point, serve and volley. Start queuing up this.
Drysdale, Patrick McEnroe, welcome everyone. Live coverage, Tennis Masters Series, Indian Wells.
Certainly set up nicely, Cliff, for a great weekend, aren't we?
Yeah.
Kafelnikov, Sampras in one semifinal, and almost certainly Hewitt taking on Agassi. That's going to be fun. That's going to be real fun, that match. Nightmare that Charlie Passerelle and all of us experienced with the Williams sister fiasco last night. Venus pulling out about 2 minutes before the match was scheduled to go out on the court. He's got to be very, very happy with his lineup for the men's semifinal. Your buddy.
Yeah, that's nothing to be happy about. He's done a tremendous job as Agassi, who is finally facing a break point. First of the night. Nice lineup in the women's singles final tomorrow too. Clijsters and Serena Williams. Yeah, it was a fiasco. If Venus Williams had just let us know half an hour earlier, we could have got out Pete Sampras and he could have played, you know, one of his great matches. He's a great player. Live on ESPN. As it was, we had to show a tape of the afternoon match. Hingis and Clijsters. Lapentti has broken Agassi. He looked too late in all probability, but 5-1 and Lapentti will serve. In my mind, that Venus Williams last night injury is legitimate is not a factor. I'm sure that it was, but that she would rear its head so late was really questionable judgment, in my opinion. Hurt the tournament, hurt the crowd, and certainly hurt our broadcast.
Hurt the sport.
One of our ESPN programmers was here last night. And what happened, he walked out and he said to me, you know, this is one of the reasons sometimes the tennis doesn't get the times it would like on our network. Far-reaching implications. Love 15. 5-1 Agassi, and he won the first set 6-2.
Behind the baseline. Do too much work back there. Agassi just picking his spots.
Disappointing effort from Lapentti tonight. I'm not sure that he could have. Yeah, I think he could have played a lot better. Couldn't have beaten Agassi.
He could have played more his game, which is loop the ball, try to hit a lot of forehands. Thought that type of play would have won him the match anyway. sort of came out and went, as we've talked about, but just out of his game plan early. But that is so difficult to do. Especially, I mean, at this level, you just can't do it.
Match points for Agassi. Nice way to finish the match. Agassi trying to get himself pumped up. But it was too easy a day for him as Lapentti was only able to hold serve Patrick twice in the match.
Well, he won't have any trouble getting pumped up for the semifinals against Leighton Hewitt. That's going to be a good, interesting matchup, a test for Agassi. Certainly Hewitt's going to make Andre hit a lot of balls. It's sort of like a heavyweight against a middleweight. I mean, both a similar style of play, but certainly Agassi with more firepower and a great semifinal lineup for us for the weekend.
Andre Agassi is in the semifinal. Leighton Hewitt, as you said, Patrick, will be his opponent. Kafelnikov and Sampras round out the top four. Back in a minute.
You've worked hard. And as you plan for the future of the people who depend on you, you search for the right financial partner. In Pacific Life, you found it. Nearly half the Fortune 500 rely on the Pacific Life family of companies. With over 130 years of experience and more than $300 billion of managed assets. For your family or for business, discover the power of Pacific Life.
Walt Disney Pictures presents.
You got anger, that's good. And I don't need you up on my face. You got aggression, that's even better. We will be perfect in every aspect of the game.
On the film, critics call a rousing celebration of the human spirit. And only on DVD, 6 scenes not shown in theaters. Academy Award winner Denzel Washington.
We are team.
Remember the Titans, a Jerry Bruckheimer production. Available to own on video and Disney DVD Tuesday, March 20th.
I'm not quite sure how to tell you this. What is it? You've only got 40 years left to live. Maybe 45, 50 times.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of the Tennis Masters Series Indian Wells is brought to you by Audi. Andre Agassi easily denied 6-2 and 6-1 against Nicolas Lapentti. Take a look at the match summary here, Patrick.
That's the Audi match summary, and well, it's pretty evident what it was. Look at Lapentti, lost serve 6 times. Agassi only 13 unforced errors, broken once in the match. That was that last game, and the winner error differential a lot more for Lapentti. But Andre, really a case of you not having to play your best tennis, and it seemed to me that Lapentti was sort of trying to go out of what it was his natural game right from the start. Like the intimidation factor was already there when you guys walked out on the court.
Well, we've played a few times. I think there's a healthy respect from both of our sides of the court. But, you know, it was brutal conditions tonight, Patrick. I mean, you look at the wind. I don't know if you can tell up there in the booth, but the wind is really howling around down here. And, you know, my game is really suited pretty well for the wind. I can play with spin if the ball's low. If it's high, I can flatten it out if I'm against the wind. You know, not a whole lot bothers me. I have a short ball toss. I think Nicolas really depends on, you know, getting that ball in the spot where he can really eject that forehand. And today it just never looked like he got into his rhythm or found his game or got comfortable out there.
I think probably the most dangerous thing that you've said is not a whole lot bothers me, Andre, because in your career, a lot from time to time has bothered you one way or the other. But you are looked to be in a mood now this year, one of those moods where not a whole lot is bothering you, and that's bad news for the rest of the field. What do you?
Are you trying to say I'm a moody guy, Cliff? Is that what you're trying to say?
You've had a moody career.
Well, you know, I mean, I think there have been times I haven't been as focused on my game, but I think those times were proactively so. It wasn't as if I was out there just kind of reacting. It was my mind and my preparation, and things weren't quite a focus on tennis. I have certain regrets about that, but I'm almost 31 and I'm still out here competing with the best of them. So I've managed to survive, and somehow now with my dedication and my fitness and everything really is coming together. I'm using my experience in different situations, and and I feel pretty comfortable out there, and I'm always looking to improve.
I suppose, Andre, that you'll try to use your experience tomorrow, because we're certainly very eager for that matchup tomorrow against young Leighton Hewitt. Is sort of, I guess I would put a middleweight version of you. He doesn't have the firepower, but certainly can move the ball around. And how do you look at that matchup?
Oh, it's going to be brutal. I mean, I think Leighton is one of the best up-and-comers, no question about it. He's one of the best in the world right now. He's just a great competitor. He can hit the ball well off both sides. He moves probably as well as anybody out there. And you have to beat him start to finish, you know. And my goal is to go out there and make him have to do the same thing. I think it will be a good match.
Andre, congratulations. Well played today, and good luck for the rest of the tournament. Semi-final against the Australian Leighton Hewitt tomorrow. Andre Agassi is in the final 4.
Well done, Andre. Thanks.
Thanks, Patrick.
At the Tennis Masters Series. When we come back, a match that was played this afternoon, one of the best of the week. Pete Sampras and Patrick Rafter. Enough said. Back in a minute.
The new album, Unwind, featuring Are You There? Oleander, Unwind. To order now, call 1-888-741-2700 to order and receive one free Are You There video. Must be 18 years or older to order.
New balls, please.
Welcome back, everybody. Tennis Masters Series, Indian Wells. Andre Agassi, a winner. He is in the semi-finals. We're going to take you back to a match played earlier today. Patrick Rafter won the first set against Pete Sampras. We're going to join the match in the second set tiebreak. Pete Sampras and Patrick Rafter. This one played in the late afternoon. First to 7 points with a 2-point lead wins the tiebreak.
Place already. Thank you.
Solid 1-2. Sampras getting in behind his serve quickly then. It was a big first serve.
1-0 Sampras.
Patrick Rafter, two-time US Open champ, and Pete Sampras, most prolific Grand Slam singles winner in history. It was a great matchup between these two, and they started firing from the first ball of the day. You pointed out at the time, Patrick, they both knew that they had to bring their best out here, and they did. Rafter drawing first blood, winning the first set. Patrick Rafter talking retirement at the end of this year, which will be sad to the fans, the millions of fans that he has.
What a return. A little fist pump from Pete Sampras. Oh, the majors are the only thing that counts to Pete? Yeah, right. Look at this return right there from Sampras.
Mini break.
Nice early backswing, blocks it. business about him only caring about the majors. Come on, Pete.
Good move. Rafter with a chance to go down the line of the backhand side. He'd done quite a bit of that during the match. That time going cross-court, Sampras was waiting for it.
Sampras.
Paul Anacone, Sampras' coach. Former serve and volley player himself. He's even got the blowout in this one. He blowing that ball out. Cliff, he only does that when it really means something. He's bringing out all his tricks in this one, Sampras.
Sampras has won this tournament twice. The last time was '95. It's been a long time, a long dry period for him here in Indian Wells. Agassi played the final a couple of times, but he has never won it.
Lost to Sampras that one year.
Yep.
Sampras was there. Oh, did Rafter blow that one out there too, like Sampras does?
Nice anticipation there from both guys, actually.
Oh, I love this. This is what gets me going, Cliff, right here. These guys excited into it. Tie break. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, the American fans booing. I love it. Sampras has been training very hard, he says, the last month or so. He's not had the match play, though, that he's needed to get sharp. Finally, he's been able to get it this week with a couple of wins under his belt. After losing 3 straight matches, Pete Sampras, going back to the Australian Open, he lost to Todd Martin and Chris Woodruff in Memphis. And in Scottsdale last week to Andrew Ely, an Australian.
2-4. Clean on the line. Sampras will check it. No overrule. You might as well walk, Pete.
No overrule from the chair umpire there. Sampras still with the break here in the tie break. 4-3 now.
The locks, in case you haven't seen Patrick Rafter yet this week, they're gone, shorn.
Interesting move there from Rafter, trying to run around and hit the forehand, but Sampras, extra juice on that serve.
5-3 Sampras.
Just like Sampras sensed that Rafter was looking to run around, so he didn't hit that kick serve out there, but hit it pretty hard into the body. Oh, yes.
Right on top of that one. No mistake. So close to the net, he couldn't miss it. Set points for Sampras. First set Rafter. By the way, his hair that he lost made 50,000 Australian dollars for charity, his kids' charity in Australia.
It's about 26,000 US. Not too bad. Too shaggy. Closes in.
It's a classic matchup, this, as Rafter saves 1 set point. The serve and volley play against the server, the best server in tennis in Sampras, trying to find a way against each other. So close, this match.
That goes wide. Sampras has evened it up.
A centerpiece, this for a place in the last 4 at the Tennis Masters Series Indian Wells.
How can you provide for the future of the people who depend on you? With the power of Pacific Life. For over 130 years, Pacific Life has improved the lives of millions with investments, annuities, and insurance. Because careful planning today can help them reach their dreams tomorrow. Discover the power of Pacific Life.
Your balls, please.
Now get the Wall Street Journal delivered for 8 weeks at just 37 cents a day, a 50% savings. Call now 800-854-2200. That's 800-854-2200 for the Wall Street Journal.
Soccer fans, get fired up for a great season of MLS action. When you order MLS ESPN Shootout, you'll get over 100 matches and select playoff games. So bring the action home. Order MLS ESPN Shootout now. Call your cable company, DirecTV, or Dish Network.
Sampras wins the second set in a tiebreak. Rafter won the first. This match played earlier today, late afternoon. It is for a place in the semi-finals to join Yevgeny Kafelnikov. Andre Agassi, a winner earlier tonight. He'll play Leighton Hewitt in the semis. Rafter to serve. First game, third set. Missed it.
It's usually a very safe play from Rafter. A drop volley. He carves it. It's almost like a hard, short volley. Time just missing it. Well, you can look at Sampras looking quickly and make sure he gets the call there. Like that. I'm Pete Sampras. Make that call. Loose volleys here.
It was just moments ago that he had the first set and he plays the tiebreak for the match. And now he's down love 31st game, third set.
Always, Cliff, where Sampras is so dangerous. After he wins a tight set, a tiebreak set, he looks to make a quick push. That first service return game in the second set to get a quick break. Yeah, look at him. Look at Sampras looking at the lines person again. He's got everything working right now. The lines people, the blow, the fist pump.
And you know what? Rafter is going to do just exactly what it does every time. Serve and volley, come in and challenge him. Sails that one off. Good game from the Australian. First game, third set. Players are going to change ends with Sampras. With a break in the third, he'll serve when we come back.
The Eastern world, it is exploding.
Now, Cornerstone Promotions brings back the spirit of the 60s with the greatest songs of an unforgettable era.
Anybody here seen my old friend John? I said, whoa! Good God, y'all! In a white room with black curtains. Don't you want somebody to love? To everything, turn, turn, turn. Baby, I'll be there to shake your hand. Baby, I'll be there to share the land. Come on, people now.
Spirit of the 60s on 2 cassettes or 2 CDs. Call this toll-free number for Spirit of the 60s. 2 cassettes $19.98, 2 CDs $26.98 plus $5.50 for shipping. Have your credit card ready and call now.
We've had this new set for a little while, and it's got a lot of new bells and whistles, and it's certainly generated a lot of feedback, most of it positive, but
There are some people who say they're too intimidated by the space-agey feel of the new set. And I'm like, come on, we're still the same people doing the same show. New set's not going to change anything, at least not with me.
Great, thanks.
Anytime. Oh, yeah, computer.
Yes, Mr. Eisen?
Can you get me the statistics to tonight's Rangers game right away?
Coming right up, Mr. Eisen.
Tennis Masters Series, Indian Wells. Andre Agassi easily over Lapentti in this match played earlier tonight. Pete Sampras and Patrick Rafter played earlier today. We're following that match and we'll get back to it. But let's go now to Pam Shriver and Mary Jo Fernandez on tomorrow's women's singles final.
Tomorrow in our women's finals, we have a surprise finalist. Kim Clijsters playing the '99 U.S. Open champion Serena Williams. But Mary Jo, if Kim Clijsters plays the way she did against Hingis in the semis in the first and third set, she's got a pretty good chance to win this title.
I think she has a great chance. Kim Clijsters is a great athlete, moves very well around the court. She's a hard hitter. She's going to face a different opponent in Serena Williams. Serena possesses a much bigger serve than Martina Hingis, bigger ground strokes, and Serena Williams is coming in with a lot of confidence. She destroyed Lindsay Davenport in the quarterfinals. So you have to favor a little bit Serena Williams.
Well, two hard-hitting teenagers to face off in the finals, seen tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern.
Thanks, Pam. We will be looking forward to that one. Kim Clijsters, Belgium, Serena Williams, USA, for the championship here at Tennis Masters Series, Indian Wells. Both players held serve in this match that we are following, Pete Sampras and Patrick Rafter, so we rejoin it now 2-1. Sampras leads with a break in the third. First set to Rafter, second set to Sampras in a tie break. Sampras got the early break that you just saw before we took our last break, and here is Sampras to serve.
Oh, 15. Body blow there from Sampras. Got a nice rhythm going now. Pete Sampras does on the serve. Look at Rafter was trying to hit the backhand at first, but the ball got away from him. There's a groove. You can see when he gets in that groove, Cliff, on that serve, Sampras. I guess he rarely gets out of the groove with the serve, but it's almost like he's able to turn on a switch, Pete Sampras, and just it flows so beautifully.
Difference, Patrick, when he's in the groove on the serve and when he's not. That's the truth. And when he gets a much higher percentage of first serves, he sort of leans into it. Yeah, I mean, he gets so confident at Wimbledon center court that he loves so much. And he looks grooved now on the serve. Big return there from Rafter.
14, 15.
Game point Sampras. Sampras maintains the lead with a break. A danger against Sampras is that if you do lose your serve at any point in the set, to get back presents a serious problem.
You got that right, Cliff. Especially when Pete's in the groove he's in on his serve, and it seems like Sampras' serve gets better as the match goes on, and particularly in these tough encounters when it gets to a third set.
15
times Sampras, he gets a little bit tired. Looks like he relaxes even more and the instinct takes over on his service motion. After we'll look back on that opening service game, Cliff, with dismay that he so easily gave it away to Sampras. Oh, wow. That's a confident Sampras right there, where he could stay down, stay low on that backhand, and rip through the ball.
at Rafter. Look how low Rafter is. That back leg, the knee on the ground, and Sampras just measuring that one. That's a confident stroke, and Sampras knew it. That is really one that he thrives on, Cliff. If he can get that backhand going, then you know things are working for Sampras, because that's his weakest shot.
Oof, that's long. Nice call on that low volley from Rafter, because that's an outstanding lesson for those who are watching and want to learn. Watch.
Sampras gets up to the ball, tries to flick it just over the baseline. A little more topspin on that one to bring it down.
30-15.
Sitting that clean though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Hitting that backhand return cleanly. Often mishits that one.
Rafter holds on, but he's down a break. 3-2 in the third set. Sampras, the number 3 seed.
Indoors or outdoors, you should see your best.
Right now at LensCrafters, complete pairs of prescription glasses or sunglasses are only $99 each. Why not get both?
The $99 indoor-outdoor sale. Hurry, offer ends March 17th.
How can you provide for the future of the people who depend on you? With the power of Pacific Life. For over 130 years, Pacific Life has improved the lives of millions with investments, annuities, and insurance. Because careful planning today can help them reach their dreams tomorrow. Discover the power of Pacific Life.
How's your bracket holding up? This region is strong, though I'm concerned about my final section. Log on and check your tournament challenge standings on ESPN.com. ESPN's Tournament Challenge, presented by AT&T and EMC.
Tennis Masters Series Indian Wells, Pete Sampras, the number 3 seed. Patrick Rafter from Australia, the number 11 seed. Here's Sampras serving to Rafter. He's up a break, third set, 15 love now. 3-2 Sampras leads, and Rafter is playing better than the number 11 seed, believe me. They played against each other, these two, in the Wimbledon final last year, and Patrick was really a terrific match.
Rafter really had his teeth in that match, especially in that second set, Cliff. Up a set and up a couple of mini breaks, I believe it was, in the tiebreak in the second set, where Sampras came up with some spectacular returns and passing shots to win that second set, and that really gave Sampras a huge lift, an emotional lift.
He won the third and fourth pretty handily.
Good reaction there from Sampras, the athleticism, the control, and the eyes on the ball. Look at the eyes, look at the head, reacting to the ball. .30 love. Big serve, that last one, 132.
Patrick, notwithstanding the fact that you're Davis Cup captain and taking that, not taking that into account, if you were Pete Sampras or Andre Agassi, 29, 30 years old, how many tournaments would you, as their coach, suggest that they play in a year?
I think they're at a pretty good number right now, sort of between 12, 15, something like that. I understand why they're not committed to playing Davis Cup now. I really do. I mean, they both put in their time, especially Agassi. I mean, he's really poured his heart and soul into Davis Cup many times over the years. I mean, I'd be crazy to say that I wouldn't want them to play.
Right.
Of course I do.
But my question is 12 tournaments enough to keep yourself?
I think it is. I mean, I think obviously Sampras struggled the last couple of weeks, but you know, now that he came here to a big event, it got his motivation up a little bit. His game is now obviously in good shape. And for them at this stage of their careers is probably enough. But probably Agassi needs a little bit more match play because he thrives on
more precise game.
Yeah, and a lot of wins.
Oh, he missed it. Sampras ahead in the third set. He lost the first. 6-4. Won the second in the tie break. That one misses.
These are good misses, though, from Sampras,
Yeah.
Cliff. These last couple on the back, and he's hitting them cleanly. He's connecting.
Like that.
See, look at that. That is beautiful. Wow. That's a Ivan Lendl-like. You know, Lendl worked on that return as his career went on. That chip backhand cross court. He used to hit that beautifully. Look at the angle on that. Of course, Pete Sampras, as a youngster, Cliff, as a teenager, spent some time practicing with Lendl when Lendl was at the top of the game. And Sampras learned a lot from that experience and how much hard work, dedication it took for Lendl to be the player that he was. I think that had a lasting effect on Sampras.
And remember that Tony Roach coached Lendl, and he was a very good chipper of the backhand side on the return, and he taught Lendl that shot. Or at least he helped him to make it a regular part of his game. Now Tony Roach is traveling this year with Patrick Rafter. He's here, Roach, the Australian great.
Look at the reaction from Sampras there. Rafter's like, hey, that's no big deal. I can do that all day long with my speed. This is what the fans love, isn't it? Look at this play from Sampras. Thought this was a winner. Chip, a Ken Rosewall-ish slice up the line.
What was the name of that Western movie? Who are those guys?
Sampras, only smile. 30 all now. And that was a big point, too, at 2-4, 15-30.
Sundance Kid.
Now, come on now. Wow. Yeah, even Paul Anico, the coach, who's usually stoic over there. I don't applaud this one. That is just phenomenal. Look at Rafter. He says, yep, that's too good. Sampras gave him his respect on the last one. This is two great champions playing their best and giving each other respect.
Big point, break point here for an insurance break for Sampras. Second serve. Big trouble for the Australian.
Sampras, I think, thought that was going to go in the net, Cliff.
It was a strange reaction, wasn't it?
Didn't even have his racket back for that return. Break for Rafter, back to deuce. Oh. He's on Rafter's serve now, Sampras. As you said, Cliff, what we just love about Rafter is he will keep on bearing down on you.
Game point now for Rafter. With a big shot, and it wins him the game against Sampras. He's down a break. He was very nearly down 2 breaks. Good comeback from the Australian. We'll take a break. Back in a minute. 4-3 Sampras.
NHL Tonight, Tuesday through Saturday on ESPN2.
It's here, waiting for you. Inside is unlimited strength and power. It builds confidence and reshapes your body. It can change everything. This is Bowflex, an entire gym in one easy-to-use machine. So powerful, it delivers over 60 health club quality exercises with up to 410 pounds of resistance, all in the convenience of your own home. Strength training with Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. And you can own one with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Bowflex is real. The results are real. The question is, are you ready for Bowflex? For a free video and brochure, call or go online at bowflexdirect.com. Do the research, listen to real customers, then place your order online and get started. Bowflex. Who said change isn't easy?
This played earlier today. Sampras and Rafter 4-3 with a break. Sampras about to serve here. Andre Agassi over Nicolas Lapentti. No contest earlier tonight. He'll take on Leighton Hewitt in the semifinals, and Kafelnikov is through waiting for the winner of this one.
He's really well, obviously the best of the men's quarterfinals. All the other ones pretty one-sided, Cliff. Hewitt Escudé was an easy win for Hewitt. Gamble was a little bit closer, but not much more. 4-3 for Kafelnikov, pretty routine.
A couple of Australian fans. Patrick Rafter is incredibly popular worldwide. That's a little bit of white hair there, by the way, on the top of his head there, or gray, I guess. Just one little patch there. It's not like he shaved it or anything. Popularity stakes. I mean, Agassi obviously would probably be #1. Gustavo Kuerten, with all of his fans, South America's up there too.
15 on.
But in the admiration stakes, you'd have to put Pete Sampras up there because he is so widely admired internationally for what he's done on the tennis court. More Grand Slams than anybody else in singles. But he's not the kind of player that he's worldwide, that one warms up to. And he should be, because he's truly one of the nice guys in all of sports.
Well, he was ticked off at himself, Rafter, for letting the opportunity at love 15 on the second serve get past him. Look how the early preparation, look how he extends his arm through that ball, meets it out in front of him. And now here's a chance for Rafter to get back on serve. Another solid serve from Sampras there. Hit hard and wide there. Get back to 30 all.
Dangerous to throw the lob up there. Sampras was waiting for it and put it away very clean and crisply. Game point for Sampras.
This just epitomizes the greatness of Sampras here. I mean, this was a tough overhead for Sampras to get back in the first volley. Look how quickly he gets back in the short little steps there. And there's the intensity from a man who people say doesn't show it enough on the court. He shows it when it matters.
Game point Sampras. He made it. I thought he was going to do that in the last point, but he went for the lob instead.
He read that serve from Sampras, that first serve. Rafter, he got the return down low. Pretty good pickup from Pete. After staying down real low, just as he does on that volley, on the pass. Exceptional tennis here.
Advantage Sampras.
Sampras, he maintains the lead. He was in trouble in that game, but held on.
Sampras leads 5 games to 3.
1 game away now, and you were saying earlier on in this match, Patrick, that these guys came out with all of their ammunition and used it from the beginning because they knew what they were up against. Well, that kind of intensity has stayed for the duration.
It's picked up as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the level has even gotten better. Rafter's girlfriend, Lara Feltham. That actually would have been good.
Yeah, it would have
gone in.
Yeah. I mean, you know, in the old days, they had that where the net post, that it was actually above the net slightly, and it would often hit and go in.
Ricochet, right?
Yeah. Virtually impossible now, although that one could have, as you said. Game points to Rafter, but Sampras in a position that he knows that all he's got to do is hold on to serve, and he is in the final 4 here. Tennis Masters Series Indian Wells.
Sampras looking to win this event for the 3rd time.
Evgeny Kafelnikov waiting for him.
Well, Sampras's arm, Cliff, and his shoulder is so strong.
40-15.
He's able to muscle that ball with very little backswing on the forehand. Sort of like Boris Becker used to do. Especially Boris had that on the backhand side on the return. Blunt strength and power. Trying to catch up to that one though, but Sampras will serve for place, as you mentioned, but in the final 4. What a match this has been when we come back.
Entering a new world, June 1st. I didn't pass one road sign today, or meet one person who could point me in the right direction. I hope every day is like today.
Two eager CEOs. One encouraged his employees to read the Wall Street Journal. The other did not. Let's join them for their 5-year anniversaries and see what happened. Imagine what the Journal could do for you. It's now easier to get the Journal to help you. Get 8 weeks of the Wall Street Journal for just 37 cents a day. That's 50% off the regular rate. Call 800-313-1600. That's 800-313-1600 for the Wall Street Journal.
How much PC can you get for your money? More PC than we can tell you about in 30 seconds. A super-fast Intel Pentium 3 processor, CD-ROM, accelerated graphics, pro-quality audio system, monitor, plus 5 color choices, red, green, blue, purple, and orange. And that's just for starters. The compact Presario 5000T. Let us build one for you. Call us direct at 1-800-336-1401 for all this, plus a free printer or scanner for just $849 after rebate. Hey, do I have time to mention the...
Help! A little help, please! Help! A little help, please! Thank you. Can you get that?
Sampras leads 5-4. Got the break in the first game of the set, and he has held on since. He's been challenged, but he has held on. 5-4, serving for the set.
Talk about picking up your serve games.
And the match, excuse me, Patrick.
Sorry, Clay, you only lost 4 points. Most of them in that last game. I think maybe all of them in that last game. When Rafter got it to deuce.
Was that a chance to show the pin ball?
I think she was putting something in the can there.
Oh, the ball.
Sampras not happy with that call. I think it was an overrule. Discussion. First point. So you always love to get that big bomb on that first point when you're serving for it. Sampras has done so many times. That ball did look like it skidded.
Yeah, I think it was on the line.
And Rafter looked like he was walking. Anyway, second serve.
He was going for it down the line, waited for it till the last minute, and just a split second too long. 15 love. What is he saying? I'm not a lip reader. I sure would like to be, sir.
I'm not sure you want to be after what he said there. 15 love, 3 points from a place in the final 4.
Oh, yeah. Cool, calm, collected. Steers that one down the line. Winner.
Watch the way he sits on this ball. Waits. Sampras moves to cover the cross court. He's right behind him. Always a good play when someone at net is scrambling to get back into position. Go behind them. It's much tougher to change direction. You don't have as much time. You're the net person. Anyone knows about that, about having to move it to net, is Patrick Rafter. That's why he can take advantage there so well. Talk about anticipating.
Yeah, and intensity.
Sampras talking to himself, urging himself on. Look at what a good play from Rafter to come in. That time he didn't go behind him, and he paid the price.
2 away.
Took a little off that serve. Got the angle he was looking for.
It is so difficult to recover against Sampras once you lose your serve in a set. Rafter won the first set. Sampras came back in the tiebreak in the second. Now Sampras has match point. Pete Sampras, a semi-finalist at this year's Tennis Masters Series, Indian Wells over Rafter in 3 sets. We'll be back with more Indian Wells after this.